Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Memes the Week. The best thing you can do for this channel is spank that like button before watching this, so it reaches a wider audience. Also, before I get on with the memes, first a word from today's sponsor, Hawkin the Good. His channel is for MGTOW men looking for philosophy and purpose in today's society. The number one question guys ask me is how do I find meaning and purpose in life? And Hawkin has you covered with politics and current affairs, mixed in from a male perspective. Visit his YouTube channel and see for yourself. Sponsor link is down below. And now on with the memes. Number one in America, lottery ticket sales are at a record high, and they keep on growing, even faster than government revenue. As people get desperate financially, they'll dump more money into crypto and penny stocks too. People are choosing to either get rich gambling or lose it all and become poor. Drastic inflationary times call for drastic measures, it seems. The lottery is just a stupid tax because most people that play it can't figure out the odds against them. Up next, this is what a hot yet lazy girl says when her man asks her what's for dinner. She presents her fish-flavored taco, of course. But I don't think that most guys want fish every night. Besides, that's not dinner. That's after dinner. It's called dessert. If I was there, I'd tell her you can't exactly make me a sandwich if you're sitting on the counter now, can you, honey? Number 3, we have a woman claiming that she's too hot to get a date because she says men are too intimidated by her that she'll turn them down. No, lady, guys are just afraid that if they feed you one wrong meal, you'll turn into the Michelin Man. Besides, food is expensive under Bidenomics. I'm sure that there are plenty of chubby chasers and black men out there that would love to date her, but she's probably being racist and doesn't want any of them. Back in the olden days, the pioneers called ladies like this wintertime women. Moving on, migrants are spraying excrement all over Western cubicle toilets, and are now demanding that schools, universities, and hospitals put in these squat toilets in them for them to use, which are unhygienic. They prefer buckets and hoses splashing fecal matter all over the place, because that's what they're used to. Many then use their fingers to wipe, and then prepare food and shake hands afterwards. Welcome to the future of Europe. They don't want to assimilate, but dominate. Number 5, Antonio Banderas will pay Melanie Griffith $65,000 a month once their divorce is finalized. But why does a strong independent woman need alimony money? That's more than $1 million a year before tax. His net worth is somewhere around $45 million, and hers is around $40. So in 5 to 10 years, she will have more money than him, and he'll just have to keep on paying her. This guy was a simp because she already looked post-wall in the 90s. Up next is another simp saying that his wife's boyfriend says that Bitcoin has no intrinsic value. I wonder what the intrinsic value of digital fiat currency is. What can you do with pixels on a screen? You see, digital dollars have less intrinsic value than NFTs even. At least with some paper money, you can burn it for warmth. Everyone now thinks that as we've reached all-time highs is now the time to take profits. And there's me patiently waiting for the halving supply shock. Number 7, Emirates says hold my bathwater, as she's now collaborating with a beer company to brew a new flavor using her vaginal yeast. Belle Delphine will probably have to up the ante by making blood from her period blood. As for Emirates, she's upset because simps aren't tipping her constantly like they used to. Maybe it's time for both of them to retire into irrelevance. Moving on, in the upcoming Romeo and Juliet film, are people really going to believe that Romeo is going to end himself because he can't have her? I hope she at least waxes her upper lip before they kiss. Guys, just be happy that Juliet isn't a dude named Jules. They might as well call it Romeo and Tyrone, though. Romeo will say, "Thou mustache makes me itch." Tyrone will then proceed to twerk. Number 9 is what happens when Japan game developers trigger Western game journalists. Woke Western game companies can't compete with foreign games that sexualize women, and they're losing their minds. They weren't expecting foreign companies to fill the gap. Oh no, an attractive woman. How will we ever compete? Nothing is more beautiful than a liberal feeling fear. Up next, we have a list of female shaming tactics. They say things like, "Who hurt you, you gay incel?" There's so many things that they can say that we can make a bingo board out of them. It was also probably men that came up with these things because women don't come up with new creative insults. They just recycle the old ones. Just remember, these are shit tests, and the way to pass them is to ignore her words and keep following your passion and your purpose. If you do what she says or change, then you're showing her that she has more value than you. Number 11, to prove all the climate change legislation is just secretly about increased taxation, Greta has no problem with China burning 200% more carbon since the year 2000. or India burning 155% more. But if the United States burns 10% less than it did in 2000, that has to be stopped. How dare you? You know, this definitely has nothing to do with the redistribution of wealth now, does it? She's turning 30, and they keep pretending like she's still a teenager. Remember, guys, eat insects to improve the weather so Greta can fly on a private jet. Moving on, a foreign tourist takes a picture next to the statue of Queen Hatshepsut. Cry harder, kings. The Egyptians have DNA similar to those of the Eastern Mediterranean peoples, and not sub-Saharan Africa. The Kangs respond with this: a statue painted black, but it was painted that way to represent the afterlife in the color of Osiris. But I think I'm wrong here, because here's an image that proves once and for all that Africans are Egyptians. My mistake. Number 13, this cuck says that everything in his relationship is perfect, except that his wife refuses to end her affair because she's enjoying it too much. He doesn't know what to do. How about leaving her? First, collect as much evidence as you can and then file for divorce. Also discuss this with your side chick and tell her there's an opening for her to move up. Then again, he probably doesn't have a side chick, so the best he can do is ask his wife's boyfriend what he should be doing. Up next, we have an overweight woman giving the ugly guy a chance, and then getting pissed off after he rejects her. Remember, guys, never trust a Lizzo with winged eyeliner that eats too much Captain Highliner. Besides, why is she trying to be with him if she finds him unattractive? I'll tell you why. Because every man with value doesn't actually want to be with her. Fat girls are fine for practicing your game, but just like mopeds, don't let your friends see you riding one. Also, the neck is pretty accurate. Number 15, we have an eat thought in tears, as Western men leave, and the passport goes burr. They wanted us to die alone so the patriarchy could die with us. But many passport bros are going to countries that accept the patriarchy and leaving the lonely fools models behind. No more being friend zone simps for these guys. Latin American women, though, are not the answer either. I just find it funny the competition for men is between Western women that want to friend zone them and foreign women that want to marry them. Moving on is Rajvi, and she says her female friend is lonely at work because the men maintain a respectful distance so they don't come off as creeps. I guess that's why God created boxed wine cats in the Hallmark Channel. Women are always the victims even when men are trying to protect themselves from women, so we don't end up becoming victims. Also, maybe they aren't into bearded ladies. This is females creating a problem and then moaning about it. Number 17, we have a woman saying that boy math is Western men complaining that Western women only want them for their money, and then going to a foreign country to settle with a poor woman that only wants them for their money. One of these two women is insufferable. I'll let you guess which one. This is like saying I poisoned your local water supply, and I'm mad that you're moving because of it. It's literally about the biggest bang for a guy's buck. Up next, here's what liberal women look like when they rush to open the borders and release their felons after they complain about how unsafe the streets are. It seems like they always expect men to save them from themselves after they sabotage society. Number 19 is a woman that got divorced twice before turning 30. Now she makes money offering marriage advice to other women stuck in unhappy relationships. It's the blind leading the blind. She probably advises them to file for divorce. This is like asking a homeless man about running a business. Translation: I'm frustrated and unhappy and want others to be like me. Moving on, one guy says that boys who shame fat women online are usually the same ones that have fat mothers at home. Another guy pipes in and says, that's dad's choice, not mine. It's pathetic how guys simp for their mothers like this without even realizing it. Number 21, we have this urinal for women, so they can feel equal to men. It's probably designed for fat women that can't get back up once they sit down or something. My theory is they pull their pantaloons down and approach the urinal with them around their knees. Then they straddle it and hope for the best. Up next, apparently this is what depression looks like. It's always the people with the big phony smiles that seem to be ready to end themselves. It's the people that never smile and look depressed that usually aren't. So much talent on this page that was ended way too soon. Depressed people always seem to appear strong on the outside, but they are crumbling on the inside. Also, is it possible to tell if they're depressed by looking at the bags out of their eyes? Number 23, Drea De Matteo, recently started doing Lonely Fools, and she told her kids they wouldn't have nice things unless she showed her behind on Lonely Fools. She has a son and daughter, but which one is the son? Apparently she made more on that platform instead of when she was working on The Sopranos. Also, let it sink in that she's 52 years old. I guess she also probably did it because she ran out of money for plastic surgery. Moving on, we have a couple, and the wife asks if she's fat. The simp says, "No, dear, I like you the way you are." She says, "I'm hungry, can you carry me to the fridge?" He says, "You wait, I'll carry the fridge to you." If he can pick up a whole fridge, he must be stronger than her bra. No man would willingly be with someone that large. This guy always seems to say the right thing to diffuse a heavy situation. Number 25 and the last one looks like a blast from the past in Texas. And Corn on the Cob hub is gone. And now they're trying to sell 3 DVDs for 19 bucks. Now I guess we know why they attacked the hub. I guess now we'll know who's never heard of VPNs before, and that it only costs $8. Probably hundreds of boomers will be lining up at the front door here. So that's it for another Memes of the Week. Give this video a thumbs up to help it reach more viewers. If you want the memes I can't show you on YouTube, then subscribe over my X account, where I post them ahead of time. Link is below. Also remember I make these for free, so donate what you can at the PayPal and Subscribestar links below for more content like this. Anyways, enjoy the rest of your day, and cheers.